Alright guys, it is Eric and Tom at 4 Up Gaming. Sorry we're having to do this, we're having to improvise on a couple of things because I forgot the tripod. So this probably seems a little bit up close and personal. It's because it is. But anyway, we are here doing a 2,300 point battle report. For our board, as you guys are seeing while we're setting up, is literally mimicking the weather outside right now. It is a balmy -8 here in Colorado.
It's a little chilly.
It's a little chilly.
A little frigid.
Yeah, so we're gonna try to not freeze, I guess. Although we're down here, so we should be fine.
Nice.
Yeah, we're not gonna freeze. Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry about that. Sorry, Tom is a lot taller than me, guys. So if this looks weird, it's because Tom is like 6'7". And I'm like 5'6", so that's why there's a disparity here. So my apologies. Next time I'll make sure to remember to bring the full-size tripod. But with that, we're going to get into the game. We don't know what scenarios we have yet, so we'll go over that here in a minute. All right, we just got back in from being outside, and oh my God, that is cold. All right, so
20 layers on.
Yeah, I know. I'm out there bundled up.
I work outside.
Yeah, no. Well, when I work outside, I've got 20 layers on too, so I'm just used to it. All right. So we are obviously playing a 2,300 point game here. It is going to be dwarves, right? Dwarves, yes. Dwarves versus elves. Kind of old school clash here. So let's go over what you got, Tom.
I got 3 regiments of Brock Riders. King on Large Beast. 2 hordes of Shield Breakers with Gullick's Fury.
Damn, Gullick Fury.
2 hordes of Iron Breakers, or Ironclad, and with a Steel Behemoth and a BSB.
Gosh. I like how you have that one Slayer on top up there. Like that just looks cool, you know? And then of course, don't forget your Steel Behemoth and then another Slayer on top. Did you see that that they kind of got a little bit of a buff? They're not called Slayers, obviously.
Berserkers.
Yeah, Berserkers. Yeah, there you go. Did you see the nice little buff that they got though?
What'd they get?
They got where they can. I think it's them. They got that new ordered march or whatever.
All dwarves have that.
Oh, they all have that. Okay.
Across the board.
So the one thing that was the evening factor for dwarves.
They can march and turn, which is great.
Yeah, it gives them pretty much nimble.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I was like, cool, because the dwarves need more buffs.
Right.
That's exactly how this works, yeah. So as you guys can clearly see, Tom likes to run battle groups, and for this point, I guess at this point level, you can do 3 battle groups pretty easily. So you got the one battle group over here on your left flank, my right flank, which is more of your anvil. Those are your ironclad, right?
Yeah.
So defense 5, you got your Steel Behemoth there for support, just to add a little bit of...
A little punch.
Yeah, and you've made it to where I can't just leave it alone. I got to do something. And then in the middle there, you have your hammer with Gullick, and Gullick is just
pretty good.
Oh my God, Gullick is a pain. So that's a really difficult center. And then your other flank is all speed. All speed. You got 3 Brock Rider regiments and a Brock Rider Lord, right?
Yep.
Brock Lord?
Not Brock Lord. He's King on Large Beast.
Oh, King on Large Beast. Okay. So King on Large Beast. So that is just a nasty, nasty flank. And you guys will see why, because when you see my army, you're going to go, uh-oh, that's not going to work out well for Eric. Yeah. So anyway, here we go. I'll go over the elves here in just a sec. All right, so for the elves, you can see I have nothing over on my right flank because I pretty much just conceded. Yeah, I pretty much just conceded a flank to you. Yeah. I was just like, no. I have a horde of Palace Guard with Argus Rodinar in the back there. I have 2 Archmages, one Archmage actually, right there, with what did I give him? Heal and Bane Chant. And then I have a Army Standard Bearer with Loot of Insatiable Darkness. I have another horde of Palace Guard. That Drakon Rider horde or regiment is actually not there. I'll go over that here in a sec. So before anybody freaks out, I got another Archmage right there, and she's also got Heal and Bane Chant. And then I've got 3 regiments of Glade Stalkers. As you guys can see, I scouted them into the forest. Gladestalker's got a nice little buff, which is nice. And then over here, where the blank base is, that is actually that regiment over here. Is actually meant to be right there. It's just that they can't really fit there with the wings because their wings kind of hit each other. But yeah, I've got 2 regiments of Drakon Riders, yeah. And then I've got a horde of Drakon Riders behind them with Chant of Hate, and then I've got a Drakon Rider Lord. So I'm using the formation. It's a Colonars something. I can't remember what it's called. But it's a formation with the Drakon Riders. It gives them Nimble and Spellword, and then it makes the Lord, I believe it gives him Rampage. He may already have Rampage. I can't remember. I haven't really been able to thumb through the rules quite as much as I normally do. So, but yeah, like Tom was saying, I kind of have 2 battle groups, and I kind of favored one flank a little bit heavier, whereas Tom spread out his army pretty well, and he's got 3 very distinct battle groups. I don't know how you do it points-wise. I just can't ever figure out how you're able to do it points-wise. It's just absolutely amazing how you're able to do it. But yeah, that's pretty darn good. So in regards to the scenario, it is loot. So loot is one of the original scenarios. I enjoy loot. Sometimes it's nice, especially for this. You know, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to play test for Adepticon, so it's a nice basic kind of a scenario. There's not a whole lot of stuff in it. Pretty much what loot is there are 3 loot counters on the board, 1 in the direct center, and then each opponent gets to place where they want the other loot counter to go. Both, they just have to be placed on the center line. They have to be 12 inches away from each other and 3 inches away. Better make sure, yeah. 3 inches away from impassable. Yeah. Just figured I'd see. You never know. So loot counters are pretty interesting. You can pick them up. If you do pick them up, it slows your speed down, unless you're a dwarf, and then it doesn't matter. But for the rest of us, it slows the speed down. And yeah, and then obviously that's how you win the game, is you got to have more loot counters than your opponent. So that's all there is to it, though. You can pick it up, you can drop them, obviously, and or you can just leave them there and then just, you know, I guess technically you don't even have to pick them up. You can just sit on them if you wanted to and deny somebody from getting a loot counter. This is a scenario where unit strength does matter, because if I believe if you're both in contact of a loot counter but neither group has really picked it up and the game ends somehow, it kind of matters on who has more army or unit strength at that point. So it's kind of interesting when it comes to loot counters. But that's the scenario. As far as the terrain, as you guys can tell, there's a forest right here. We've got a height 2 hill. We have impassable. We have a height 2 hill here. We've got another forest. We've got a nice little L-shaped obstacle, and then another thing of impassable. So not too crazy on the terrain, which is kind of nice. It's nice when it balances out, you know. Sometimes it's nice to have a lot of terrain, sometimes not as much. God, when we've gone to Adepticon in the past, it's either feast or famine, right. It feels like. Some boards are completely jam-packed, and you're like, thank God I'm not a shooting army. And then other times you're like, wow, there's pieces, yeah, and then there's nothing, and you're like, oh God. And then you see a shooting army across the board, and you're like, oh, this is gonna hurt. So that is what we got, everybody. We are going to go ahead and get into the game. All right, end of turn 1. And you moved up a lot quicker. Like that new rule that the dwarves have, they are definitely moving a lot quicker.
They move exactly the same.
It feels like they're moving more, okay? I know. But you're able to move and position. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of, it feels like it makes you move faster. Even though I know technically, range-wise, it's not changing anything. But the fact that you can march and then pivot, you know, kind of is like, ooh, boy. Like, that's interesting.
8-inch move.
The big old 8-inch move and then pivot a horde. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, you moved up, positioned some stuff. I shot. I also obviously moved a couple of things. I moved my palace guard up onto the hill, trying to get myself a better vantage point on Gullick's Fury and onto your shield breakers. Just trying to, I don't really want to say put pressure on the middle, but trying to do something, right? I got to do something here. I'm hesitant on the other Palace Guard horde because first of all, if I commit too much, you have 3 units on my right flank, so I can't commit too much, get them completely taken out, because then you're just going to roll my flank, right? On the same token, though, I can't pull them to the middle too much because, again, I have to keep your flank busy, right? And then over the Gladestalkers did pretty good. I put 10 wounds on. Yeah, that wasn't bad. I'll take it. Put 10 wounds on your shield breakers in the middle. Again, trying to put some pressure on the middle. If I can, hopefully, put more wounds on them maybe next turn. If I can, we'll see. And then able to maybe make them die. That would be awesome. Then I'll put some pressure on the middle here. Obviously, you have Golik's Fury. This is really going to test this whole Defense 5, this new Defense 5 thing with the Palace Guard. Obviously, you have Piercing 2 for shots, so I'm not, I don't think you're worried about it either, but we'll see how that plays out. And then I kind of have my other Drakons back here for support because obviously I can't block up everything over here. I guess I could have been strategic and been a jerk, and I guess I could have charged your dude. What is he again? Lord? King on Large Beast. I guess I could have charged your King on Large Beast, and I guess I could have blocked that, but actually if you guys can see, he's actually back about, quarter of an inch, half an inch right there. So actually I couldn't really do that. I guess, no, because you're back from both. So I wouldn't be able to do that. But from here, I at least tried to block up these 2 units here so that way you can only attack with half, right? I mean, just trying to do something with what I can, doing what I can with what I got. I did put 12 wounds on this unit of Brock Rider Lords with my 2, I'm sorry, not Brock Rider Lords, Brock Riders. Gosh, with my 2 regiments of Drakon Riders. So we'll see what happens there. Again, I still have some support over here to kind of try and support my Gladestalkers. Ultimately, I'm just trying to... I can't let you hit me all at once with everything, right? Because if the dwarves are able to hit anything all at once, that's when you really get hurt. So what you've got to do is you've got to slow them down. You've got to kind of let them come at you piecemeal a little bit, because otherwise you're just going to get housed. And it's one thing I've learned playing this as long as I have, and playing against you especially, is that if I let your battle line just get to me, it's done. Yeah. The game would be over turn 3. So that's what we're looking at right now. This next turn, my predictions are you're going to probably kill my Drakon Rider, my regiments there, and I also think you're probably going to take out at least one of my Gladestalkers, probably with that unit that has Meat of Madness over there on the flank, hitting my close unit right here. That's kind of what I'm thinking, but who knows?
Yeah,
right? Who knows? We'll see what happens going into turn 2. All right, turn 2. Let's see. You shot me some more, and then you charged back into my Drakons, and then you charged my other regiment of Drakons, and then you actually charged my little regiment of Gladestalkers. You epically whiffed.
I know, it was bad.
on the Drakon regiment to, I guess it'd be the one to my right, the closest one to the building, pretty much. My God, you only did... but
2 wounds, I think.
Yeah, something bad. Yeah, 2 wounds. Yeah, two magnificent
26 attacks,
wounds.
2 wounds.
Yeah, that wasn't great. But let's see, you wiped the other one off the board. Your Brock Riders swooped in with Meat of Madness, came in and hit my Gladestalkers. And you did not roll well there, but there again, it took away your Thunderous, and you were hitting at -1. So that was rough. You did do 8 wounds, which is pretty darn good.
Yeah,
it's just the nerve roll wasn't great. So I was able to come back in. I had flanked you. These new Gladestalkers hitting on 3s is nasty.
Yeah,
because if you flank them, they're almost they're Palace Guard, They're legit Palace Guard. You Bane chant them, and they literally are Palace Guard. So 24 attacks. I think Palace Guard are 25. Ooh, 1 attack difference. But and then I was able to waver your unit with Headstrong, your shield breakers.
Yeah.
I was able to waver them,
And
which
I
was
failed
good. And you failed your Headstrong, yep. But over here, I charged you and multi-charged you with my Lord. I did 1 wound with him, and then I charged you with my Drakon Rider Horde, and I did 8 more wounds, which I thought would be enough. And I did on the first roll take you off the board, but the second roll didn't roll well. So your Brock Rider Lord, or whatever the hell it is, they are still, your dude's still on the board. I'll put it that way. Let's see, what else happened? And I think the rest of the army, you hung out. I think you shot me. You did. You shot my Glade Stalkers and did some wounds on them. Did 2 wounds on them, so that happened. And yeah, other than that, I just positioned, you positioned, and we are getting ready for turn 3.
Yeah.
Dang, already turn 3. All right, here we go. End of turn 3. Turn 3 got a little weird. Turn 3 got a little weird. Let's see. You charged in with your Steel Behemoth, or I'm sorry, Gullick's Fury, and completely whiffed 2, or you did 4
Every
wounds.
single roll I made, I whiffed.
That was bad. That was
One-
bad.
Even close to average roll.
No, not at all. That was bad. Let's see, what else? You shot me, and you did 1 wound.
That's the game.
This game's been rough, man. This game has been rough, yeah. Let's see. Let's go over to the other side of the board. Things happened and stuff. Let's see here. You charged... Yeah, you rear charged my Drax.
Yeah.
Because that was the best
You
option.
probably should have made me roll it.
Okay, I guess the GoPro now wants to turn off or work or whatever. Anyway, I probably should have made you roll it. Because
survived.
what would that have been? 26 times 3. Oh my god, yeah, that'd have been insane. But yeah, so you wiped out my Drakon Horde that was right there. You then turned and faced. I double charged you with my Glade Stalkers. They did 10 wounds on you, 24 attacks. That wasn't bad.
No, that's pretty good.
Here, though, is what hurt. I charged into your Shield Breakers, was able to finally take them off the board with the Glade Stalkers. And then over here, with your Lord, King, right? King, Lord, something like that. I needed 5s to wound, and I think I had like 14 wounds.
Yeah,
it was that was pretty bad. Well, I mean, good for me, bad for you. It was at that point is when Tom was like, that is stupid. That was stupid. Because the exact opposite has been happening for you this game. Like I said, I mean, you came in with Gullick's Fury, which that's what it does. Its bread and butter is actually not
you rolled
shooting.
pretty high. So I mean, 17 attacks and
whiff. Yeah. So a tale of 2 dice rolls, or I guess 2 different people's dice rolls, and also a tale of 2 sides of the board. Because I in essence, I only have 1 unit left in this other board I got to take care of, and you have the rest of your army on this side of the board. That's a lot to chew through. Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen going into turn 4, but we're going to find out because it's still a lot of stuff to take care of on this side of the board. So we shall see what happens. All right, end of turn 4, and your dice have kind of come around a little bit.
I mean, it's hard to miss on anything but.
So you took out my Palace Guard here. You moved up like you needed to. I wasn't able to. I mean, I guess I could have backed up a little more, but I was going to get double charged either way. So I picked to charge the Steel Behemoth. Mostly because it's going to pull you as far away as possible. Either way, it wasn't going to work. I was going to get flanked if I didn't take you out. You have 2 units full strength, so it's hard to do that. I did put 8 wounds on the Steel Behemoth with my Palace Guard. Not bad. I will take that. I will take that since it's sacrificial. But the other side's holding on. I took out your last Brock Rider group, so I've still got some stuff on this side of the board. I don't know how I'm going to deal with your Steel Behemoth that only has 2 wounds. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. You have one of the loot counters. I am still not going to pick up any loot counters because I don't want it to slow me down, to be honest. And I'm sure you know that. So that's where we are at going into turn 5. The board is looking a little bit light now. Not a whole lot left. We'll see what happens. Oh, now it's just going to track my face and not you. Let's see if I can turn that off. There we go. All right. Sorry, guys. A little bit of a camera issue there, but it's still not quite. There we go. All right. Sorry, we're having to improvise here today. But yeah, so as you guys saw, the first part of the game went really well for me.
Yeah.
Tom couldn't roll to save his life. I was able to do what I needed to do. I was able to kind of I didn't want to say outposition. I didn't really outposition you. It's just I was able to take out what I needed.
Well, Dracons is strong.
That does help, yeah. Unfortunately, though, when you're playing
bottled down,
well,
you gotta get those Dracons bottled down.
Especially when you're playing against the dwarves, because the dwarves are just a grind, war of attrition type army.
Yeah. That's why I need to get you just locked in. And once I get you locked in, I can just pound away on you.
And that's exactly what happened, as you guys saw. Once he was able to get close to me, as kind of like I talked about earlier, I had to keep him from multi-charging me. As long as I kept him from multi-charging me, I had a chance. But once he was able to get close enough to me, like with my palace guards towards the end, and able to multi-charge me, it was done. It was done.
The new ordered march thing is actually really nice. I didn't realize how much it mattered. It's pretty nice having a nimble horde.
Like I said, though, it kind of speeds you up a little bit.
It does.
Because now you're able to charge, or I'm sorry, able to march and then pivot.
Or like pivot and then march, which is super nice. Before it was just like, I gotta go straight forward in a line. Now I can actually kind of turn, and it actually made a big difference. So
it made a huge difference. Thanks, Ronnie. Thanks. Because the dwarves needed to be better now.
I was actually surprised. I was like, that's kind of stupid.
But by the way, that's sarcasm.
Yeah,
just saying.
Like that actually makes a big difference.
It does. It really does. The dwarves, the foot-slogging slow dwarves are now a lot faster. Crazy. Probably because it's Ronnie's favorite army. Thanks a lot, Ronnie. For the rest of us that don't like dwarves and don't play dwarves, we're noticing. Oh yeah, because the high defense, the high crush, everything else doesn't balance it out enough. Yeah, thanks, Ronnie.
And then making Shieldbreakers crush too. Thank you for that one. They're just nonsense now. Super nonsense.
Even you agree, though, they didn't really need that. You were like, oh, okay. I guess I'll take that. That's like seeing the hot girl across the street gets a boob implant. Yeah. They totally needed that.
They were way strong before. Now they're even stronger. They were just wrecking stuff. Every time they hit anything, just like, 18 wounds.
It was done. It was dead, yeah. So I didn't have enough, obviously, to play the long game with you again. Yeah. This list, I'm trying out different lists, and I love the elves. I played them the last time I went to Adepticon. Did pretty good, and so I was trying to do it again. I guess if I were to do that, I don't know about the palace guard.
Yeah.
It seems like that's a lot of points.
Take it back to what they are.
Yeah, or do the and that way when I Bane Chan them, then they're crushed too. Yeah. And at least then I'm gonna have enough to consistently take out some high crush, or I'm sorry, some high defense. But this one, it was rough, guys, and it. Once you were able to hold me down pretty much.
Once I locked him in.
Then it was dead. I was like, oh, God, this is hurting bad. So that's kind of how the rest of the game went, as you guys saw. Super happy with the Glade Stalkers, though. I really like those units.
Yeah, they pack a punch.
They do for a little regiment.
And especially when you put 3 together. By themselves, they're not that great. When you put 3 together, that's a lot of good shots. And combat.
Combats, yeah.
And
that was really good.
And put them in the forest and just hunker down.
Yep. I really liked that. I really liked that. Yeah. That was really nice, having that flexibility. That really helped me, especially in the beginning of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Because as you're getting closer to me, I was able to
you almost popped the whole horde in one shot.
Yeah.
That first round was at 36 shots and almost killed that horde.
It was nice. But Dracons do what Dracons do.
Yeah.
They're good. They are what they are.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They're the punch that I needed. Yeah. Once you get them kind of...
once you lock them down, then they're done.
Then they're done, just like everything else in the elf army practically. Yeah. So, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the game. I enjoyed it. Yeah. It was good to get a game in. It's been a little while. So, it'll be interesting to see how this moves forward, especially going into 2024. Now that we've got to play with the Clash of Kings rulebook, or the new 2024 rulebook, it's a little different.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's interesting.
Not a lot of rule changes or anything.
Nothing too crazy.
Nice.
You know, of course, the Abyssal Dwarves and the Dwarves getting some
really
tweaks.
Abyssal Dwarf much yet,
but I don't need you to. That's fine. You don't need to. But with that being said, guys, I think we're probably going to get out of here. I'm going to try and get home and not
brave
freeze.
himself, yeah. Brave the weather.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.